footage is shown of Eddie Guerrero officiating a match between X-Pac and Test and helping X-Pac win ahead of this WrestleMania match, which is Test versus Eddie Guerrero for the European title, a match that goes for 8.5 minutes and ends with the ref distracted. Eddie hits Test with the European title belt and gets the pin. He's helped out by some distraction from Dean Malenko and Perry Saturn.
I'm going to say something here that I think might be fairly controversial. I like Test. I do like Test. I'm just going to leave it there. I like Test. He's quite good. As far as an actual in-ring wrestler goes, he's pretty good. I mean, okay, he's a bit of a charisma vacuum. I'll certainly say that. But this is one of the things. I remember this show very well. I don't remember absolutely naff all about this match. Literally nothing. Everything else on the show I could tell you at least one thing about. This, nothing. So it was almost as if I was watching it for the first time. And like I said, in-ring wise, I thought Test was pretty good. I felt that Eddie really did a good job at selling for him. In particular, there was two back-to-back sort of tilt-a-whirl sort of spots. There was a tilt-a-whirl slam and then a powerbomb, which was bloody brilliant. Eddie obviously needed the rest of the Radicals to help him win. I love the big boot the Test hits as a finish. I just think that's awesome. It is literally just a boot to the face. It's great. Yeah, I mean, considering this match is for the European title, which I have said before, I'm really not sold on the European title as a remotely prestigious championship. So that bit sort of gets lost on me. But cool, whatever. They really wanted to win the title. Eddie won, cheated to do it. Okay, it was all right. But like I said, I mean, for me, I just come back to I like Test.
Well, someone's got him, Matt.
Yeah. My MVP is in this match. Does anybody think about what it is or who it is?
What it is? You said what it is.
Yeah, I did say what it is. I think that may have given the game away.
It's got to be the hat.
It is the hat. It is Perry Saturn's Jamiroquai hat. It's absolutely tremendous. He came out, and I can remember him wearing this mad hat, and I was like, what a great hat. That's my MVP, because it's amazing. Especially the bit at the end of the match when Eddie puts it on as well, because he's celebrating and he puts the hat on. Wonderful stuff. Oh God, I was watching this and I was just like, Test. This is a Test. And I was like, this is amazing. Well, and I was almost on the Test bandwagon for a moment, and then I saw him wrestle, and I was like, oh, he's fine. But the thing I will say, mate, is that he's in the ring with one of the best. Do you know what I mean? So I think Eddie Guerrero does a very good job at making him look quite good. I thought his match was quite fun. Test, it does hit a pretty impressive elbow off the top, like back elbow off the top rope, a la Chris Jericho, which is pretty good. He's not that good enough that he can't get himself out of the ropes though, because the poor ref and Eddie Guerrero have to work to get him out of the ropes. He gets stuck in at one point. I tell you what is impressive is a beautiful kind of vertical suplex that Eddie Guerrero hits on Test, because Test is a big lad. I just think that this match was really fun. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. The highlight was the hat, obviously, and I loved Perry Saturn's role outside. Basically, he was just going in there to get hit by Test in order to allow Eddie Guerrero to win the match. Quite enjoyed this.
I thought it was all right. There was nothing. There wasn't particularly memorable. This one. This was probably not the worst match, but just the least memorable thing on the show. I guess to your point, Matt, you didn't even remember it was here, so it doesn't stand out. I mean, it is for the European title. Let's be honest. No one cares about that. With Test, I don't think he was bad either. I don't think he was bad. I think probably you're right. The lack of charisma cost him somewhat. But there's definitely a good while where they did value him. And when he first came in, certainly, and had first of all, he's part of the corporation and had the relationship with Stephanie, that did seem that he was going to be someone that they were pushing hard. Like, people talking about him as the new Kevin Nash, because he's similar sort of size and look to him.
And Jesus Christ, I mean, that's something you don't really want to be compared to, isn't it?
Maybe, but I mean, let's be fair. Kevin Nash had made his money and had his run as a top guy. So there's worse things to be in pro wrestling. They did seem to like him, but ultimately, he didn't come out of the whole Stephanie thing very well at all. Pretty much looked like a proper chump at the end of all of that, and never really recovered. They tried to push him a number of times after that, but it just never really worked. And
he had loads of pushes. That's what always makes me laugh. I mean, we have that thing during the Alliance where he couldn't be fired with Stacy. He was a really good heel against The Rock. Years later, they brought him back again. He was meant to be a figurehead of ECW. I mean, my God, they did give him chance after chance after chance.
He's just a big guy, and that's what Vince likes. So he's always going to get loads of chances.